what it is when I look at stuff, it's just like the I think that, but by the time people like myself end up waking up and realizing what was done to us, it's just like it just. I mean, it's like who is the one who intentionally felt like they were entitled to basically f people over and f people out of, and I didn't bring up the word neglect because basically it kind of like it's like the trickle down effect. So whoever it is that's in the top of the totem pole, but basically had been basically given unfair advantage to by somebody else is what boils down to. And then so people who are who were intentionally deceived, hoodwinked, conned, scammed, shammed, whatever. But basically, look at this stuff and just like, and then we come to the conclusion. It's just like nobody in their right mind would want to have anything to do with a damn crook. But that deals with the fact that I've never been given full disclosure. Never. It's like, oh, schools are safe. It's like, wow. So going to school and like when I have firsthand knowledge and still have the evidence in my DNA called my left leg that of where I was stabbed inside of a government building calling itself an elementary school. I mean, oh, but they're gonna come up with some sort of diagnostic coding called what would it be, paranoid or agoraphobic or whatever else in order to pay themselves. And so what it is I told them, I said, give me a copy of the organizational chart so I know who it is I need to talk to. And they refused to. And that's when one of the thugs in one of the little costumes was bullying me. Well, how do I know who it was? And that's the reason why they never give me copies of any and all licenses. Give me copies of oath of office. And it's just like, oh, drink the water, it's safe. It's just like, the hell it is. I mean, people ended up trying to turn on the what was called the tap water, and we're taking lighters and basically showing how the lighters were able to basically ignite the water and cause the water to catch on fire. It's like, what the fuck? Oh, but those are the same ones who are adding rat poisoning or what's called fluoride to water. Oh, drink the water, it's safe. It's just like, I mean, well, what's the difference between them and dentist? Think about it. Take the little cup, take the little cup of fluoride and swish it in your mouth, and I'll give you some water to rinse your mouth out with. There's never been a dentist that disclosed to me that fluoride is that rat poison and fluoride are the same thing. And so then it's just like, oh wow, so something called the American Eugenics Society, and it's just like, oh, rat poisoning, and then I'm like, well, crap. I don't know who the members are of the American Eugenics Society are. Oh, more non-disclosure. Oh, we have a diagnostic code because she's really looking pissed off. And what it is basically not giving me full disclosure, not giving me copies of licenses from an independent state licensing agency. I mean, and then it's just like, and Kevin Dutton had done some about the 10 professions that psychopaths are likely to go into. Just like, well, why the hell wasn't that information given out earlier? Why aren't there warnings outside the buildings that say warning, psychopath, probability of psychopath inside the building, high probability. Oh, and what about the hidden cameras that are inside the government buildings? 100% probability of identity thievers being inside the building. I mean, think about that. 100% probability we'll be forced to have to play some sort of guessing game, like, and 100% probability of having to being forced to give personal identifiers like handwriting and what the DNA arranged and what's called the face looks like. I mean, I'm just like, what the fuck? Oh, that's the reason why people who came to America at least 7 generations ago came to America. And they wanted to make sure that they carried the King James Version of the Bible or some other version of the Bible around with them instead of the Geneva Bible. Oh, no. I'm not supposed to sit there and put two and two together and come up with basically that what they've done is that they're tying everything into the Church of England. And that's the reason why they're doing the King James Version of the Bible. And that's the reason why they lied to me about Europe being safe, Europe and England being safe for me to go to. No. And I look at it just like, who would imagine that the ones in public office with keys to government buildings that I don't have are my identity thievers? Who would imagine that? Well, I can just turn on the radio and listen to somebody talk about what a wonderful day, what a wonderful day. I I really have to laugh about it. I mean, I'm just like, that's and then I think back on experiments with the lab rats being put into a maze, and I'm like, well, damn, that kind of reminds me of when I had to go through a building and try to figure out where I was going because it wasn't written exactly where something was, so I could figure it out by myself. And what's really, I could go into a list of different things. it's just like somebody ended up doing some kind of research or study and finding out that 30% of lawyers uh, use or have used cocaine, meaning like for no known medical procedure. I'm like, well, shit. When was that ever disclosed to me? Why the fuck would I want to do have any kind of contract with a cocaine addict? I mean, think about that shit. And then I look at it, it's just like, what was the real reason why Al Pacino ended up doing the movie Scarface? Oh, was that through the Department of Education to teach me that if I wanted to do cocaine for no known medical procedure, that I should grow a long pinky fingernail? And that basically that it's okay to do cocaine and to be involved in drug trafficking and all sorts of evil, wicked, nasty shit, as long as I don't get caught. Isn't oh, so they had to put in the all I'm getting is I just look at this shit and it's just like, what was it, Miami Vice and some of the TV shows. I mean, some of the ones that had the boats, it's just like, well, damn. Who living? Uh, I don't have a PhD in math. I barely. I was a shitty student, but anyhow, it's like I don't. I don't have to be Einstein up on at a chalkboard and figure out that a man or woman in a trailer park could probably be very comfortable in one of those gigantic boats and out of a trailer park. How many Cherokee Indians would prefer to be on a yacht instead of in a trailer? Think about that. Think about how Cherokee Indians never invited Christopher Columbus to come to America. Oh, we wouldn't be forced to have pick a religion if it hadn't been for Christopher Columbus, the unconvicted rapist, the unconvicted pedophile, the bully, the poisoner. I mean, oh, but I get to go to school so I can celebrate Columbus Day. Oh, okay. I think I'm starting to get it. So basically, I can be like the woman in the Jim Jones thing, and just have the obvious look of disgust on my face, or I can jump up and down and I can sing and clap and I can have a smile on my face and just act like everything's okay and be part of the Maxim Masquerade Party. And what really pisses me off is that basically somebody told me something about somebody that was factually inaccurate. I don't even want to go into who it was. That I ended up and the look up, and I was like, oh shit. I was like, can I get out of the room as quickly as possible? Can, can, can I do a beam me up, Scotty from Star Wars? And kind of like just vamoose. And I just look at this stuff. It's just like, and when I think back on who told me stuff, I mean, it's just like, I mean, to them, I'm sure that they thought it was really, really funny. And I just look at it, it's like, oh, fuck. Well, that's just about as amusing to me as when I was handed the drink that was laced with poison in it after I was isolated. Oh no. What's really creepy is who ended up doing it is married to a medical doctor. Oh, oh, I wonder if he had been dating her earlier, and that's where he could have gotten the poison from. No, something like that would never happen. Well, I could give directions on where to go, and there can be a Pinocchio reenactment by a pharmacist. I know nothing about date rape drugs. Oh, I know nothing. Okay, Colonel Clink. I know nothing. I know nothing. Basically, I not want to get involved. I think rapist walking around freely is normal. I mean, isn't that kind of like what I say? I take a bite out of crime, but I lie. I lie every time I can. I mean, why not just imagine just going up and go, I lie every time I can, and just doing an impression of them speaking with their little accents. Uh, oh, I'm sure that they told immigration, I come to America to lie and to steal people's identities and to act dumb when speaking about date rape drugs. I say it might be marijuana. And when I ended up doing more collecting evidence, guess what? That one works inside a government building where the one that's called an office manager for the medical doctor who drugged and raped me has a job. I won't even call it working because they're not working. I might go into more details as far as why that is. They're not working. In fact, as far as like having hypotheses, my hypothesis is that lawful bloodline Americans going back at least 7 generations are being retaliated against for leaving Europe and England to escape religious persecution. And by lawful bloodline Americans, that would include uh, any and all the people who came over from England and Europe to escape religious persecution going back at least 7 generations. And so what the mass media has been doing has been trying to do the old typical divide and conquer, instead of basically, I mean, it's sick. That's one of the things it's doing. The other thing is promoting a eugenics agenda with the gay and lesbian stuff. But not only that, it's basically giving preferential treatment to rapists. That's exactly what one calls himself a judge, violating separation of powers clause. did when oh, and there is no judge license from an independent state licensing agency. So when I forgot where that was, but anyhow, a public servant called a judge ordered a woman to marry a rapist. But the reason why I think that what they're doing is it, and the reason why they're not giving me copies of oaths of office and which constitution that their allegiance is to is because there's different constitutions. But that's another example of not giving me full disclosure. So what it is there's things called bonds, and so I was. It's just really wild how some kind of like did the disappearing act and didn't tell me what they were actually up to, and just acting dumb. So I think that that what it is that the ones in public office with keys to government buildings that I don't have been paying sells off of bonds when bonds mature, and have not given me full disclosure as far as which public servant is paying is being paid how much off of the bonds when the bonds mature. And I think that's the real reason why I haven't been given copies of any and all licenses and the ones in public office with keys to government buildings that I don't have are acting like are acting blind because I already write down and give me blah 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 blah, and I went ahead and so it's just like, oh, time to act really dumb. It's like when I was being bullied, I said, well, I need to see the organizational chart. So I need, so I can determine who it is that I need to talk to. Oh, and who bullied me? Somebody who doesn't have a license from an independent state licensing agency. Ooh, wow. I think I'm starting to see some patterns develop right before my eyes.